everywhere. Eureka.
Hey, what's up everyone? This is Dante's Analysis and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification buttons for any new videos I'm going to be releasing in the future. So for today's video, I'm actually going to be doing an album review. I'm actually very excited to review this particular album. It's by a Christian hip-hop artist named Wande, and her debut album out of Reach Records called Exit. If you guys don't know much about Wande, she's a Nigerian American, again, Christian hip-hop artist who's signed to Reach Records. Before I actually get into like much of her backstory, this album called Exit came out on April 24, 2020, and now we could dive into her backstory. So Wande was first announced as an official Reach artist on April 11, 2019 during the Orlando stop for the Unashamed Forever tour. At midnight, she released her first official song under Reach Records called Blessed Up.
Got the moves, bearing that fruit and now I got the juice. God has been cooking now, I got the soup. Put this together, yo, Willie, you clever, I cannot do better, yo. I got the blues. When I go solo, yo, I've been a fool. God has been changing me, now I make moves. Whether the weather is sunny or pouring, his presence gon' pour in.
Not to mention that she is the first female signed to the label. In the same year, she released more songs like In Love, Bands, and an EP called No Limits with 2 songs featuring No Cap and No Ceilings. The EP was released on November 13, 2019. Almost said 2020. After that, she went radio silent until March 30th, 2020. On Twitter, she tweeted, "Corona works hard, but God and I work harder," announcing her long-awaited debut album called Exit. The meaning behind the album title Exit is because God showed me that many things in life are temporary. We will exit Earth one day to be with God in heaven, and in order to move on to the next phase of God is calling you to do in life. You have to exit this current season. The album slogan is "Every exit is an entrance," meaning that it is not the end, it's just a path to a new beginning. So when I actually read the whole meaning behind Exit, I was actually really stunned because it's actually very true. Like, it's always like that saying, all good things must come to an end. So it's like one day we'll eventually leave this earth, we'll leave our physical bodies, and our spiritual will go up to the heavens. So it's just a matter of time before we actually meet the Lord one day. As what Wande said, once you leave this earth is not the end. Your spiritual being will go up in heaven, and that's when you'll enter in the new phase of life. So I thought that the whole concept behind this album was like really interesting and dope. And I just really like how Wande and her team took the time to think the concept through. Getting into the actual album, well, actually before I get to the actual album, before Wande became an official Reach Records artist, she actually was doing her own solo work before everything like started popping off. Like, she started releasing like her own songs. She performed at South by Southwest for 3 years in a row. Then once she, I think it was like her senior year of college, wherein she was about to graduate college, she got an internship for Reach Records as an A&R administrator. And I'm guessing, I remember I've seen an interview with her and how the whole signing thing happened. I think one day she like went into the office. I think either Lecrae or someone else called her in, and next thing they sat her in this room and they're like, I don't know how the whole story went, but they basically like figured out that she was actually an artist herself, and they checked out her work and they're like, oh, this is actually pretty dope, and they actually wanted to sign her. It's actually very rare for people to like get a job in the music label, and eventually like someone in the music label will like find out you're actually an artist, and when they figure out that you're really good at what you do, they probably will sign you. I know it doesn't happen for everyone, but it's actually really cool how everything just kind of fell into Wande's lap. So getting to the actual track list of the album actually features 10 songs. Very dope for a debut album. Keep it short, keep it sweet. And the features include No Big Deal, What Up RG, Taylor Hill, Steve Rizzo, and Evan and Eris. So I actually had a chance to listen to this album through in entirety 3 times, and this album is actually very good sonically. I like the beat selections. Also, the lyrical content was very deep, especially on the first track, Be Yourself. It just Wande basically just talks about just be yourself, don't be like a carbon copy of someone else just to appeal to other people that may not care about you. Just be yourself, and then everything will just come naturally. The track called Happy, that has like a music video, and I also like the choreo that was also implemented into the video. I like that. Wakande, I did like the title of that song because it was almost like a little, actually it probably was like a homage to Black Panther Wakanda, and it was actually really cool. Most of these songs are really fire. Nice Things featuring Taylor Hill, talking about the materialistic things, especially the hook where it talks about I have all these things but it's not enough to satisfy me. The only thing that can satisfy me is our Heavenly Father, the Lord. And that's actually so real, because a lot of people these days are always focused on like the materialistic things, but they never see the bigger picture. They just think like, oh, as long as I have this and that, I feel fulfilled. But in all reality, once you have all these things, you still feel empty inside. So once you know that your deep connection with the Lord, like all of these like simple materialistic things don't matter. The Lord should be your only satisfaction, not all these other materialistic things that will not come with you once you leave your physical form and enter the spiritual realm. So yeah, I actually like the whole concept of that song. More to me, talking about like I'm meant to do more than the typical normal life. People who live paycheck to paycheck, it's almost like you're kind of like slaving away like, all the time. You're talking to God and be like, Lord, is this really all I'm meant to do for the rest of my life? Just work like a 9 to 5, paycheck to paycheck, just to like put food on my tables and just to feed my family? Am I meant to do more than just this typical average normal life? So she definitely touches upon that. No Further, I like No Further because it has like an Afro beat type style, and I'm a sucker for those things. And what she talked about in this song is that no matter how imperfect you are, the Lord will always take you for who you are. So I actually really resonate with that the most. And with the last track, Be Light, featuring Evan and Eris, it was actually a very solid conclusion to the album, and how all of us, we need to be the light for places where there's a lot of darkness. And I remember the one part where Wande talks about like, I don't have any time for the pettiness. I'm trying to like save some souls out here, because there's a lot of people in this world that are guideless. They don't know what to do in their lives. So once you guide them the right direction and show them that, hey, like following Jesus Christ is the way and the only way, then that's when positive things will start to happen in their lives. And that's so true. And ooh man, this album just made me like think about so many things. And I remember one day on her Instagram, she screenshotted a post where someone commented and said that this album, Exit, is almost like a self-care album, and she completely agreed, because when you're listening to this project, it's almost like you're going through this therapy session and you're just trying to like take care of yourself mentally and try to like talk things out to a therapist and just have like that equal balance in life. And with these songs, it just shows that you're not alone. Like there's other people who struggle with these like same characteristics, and you just have to pray about it. Just pray, and just spend time in the Word. And once you do, that's when everything will start to come together and be right. So yeah, and that's really all much I have for this album. This album was like pretty much dope, and especially for a debut album from Wande. I know a lot of people have been anticipating this album since she first got signed to Reach Records. Like, oh, when's she gonna drop her debut album? So I'm actually really glad that she took the time to sit down and plan through this album. You know what? I'm actually gonna take a risk. Screw it. For this album, I'm actually gonna give this a good 10 out of 10. Yeah, I really have nothing bad to say about this project. Like, this project is really solid and a very, very solid debut into Wande's rap career, and I'm really excited to see what she has in store for the future. So again, I'm gonna give Wande's Exit a 10 out of 10, and thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.